Did you know overland flooding has caused over $20 billion in damage in Canada alone? This number jumps to over $80 billion in the United States. It's no surprise that overland flooding can cause such damage, but it will also wreak havoc on your day-to-day life. So in today's video, I want to give you a guide of 10 ways you can prepare and potentially protect yourself from overland flooding. So let's begin. 1. Stay updated. Whether it's through social media, the local radio stations, or your TV, you'll want to make sure you'll be updated if you need to evacuate or if you need to gather up your most important belongings. It's also important to know if your home is in a high-risk flood area. You can do this by checking out the flood maps we've included in the link in the description below. 2. Create an emergency plan. If you are out of town for work, or you're not able to meet up with your partner or children from work or school before an evacuation hits, it's very important you have an emergency plan established so you know where to meet up in the event of a catastrophe. You'll also want to make sure all emergency routes are noted so that you won't run into any floodwaters trying to meet up. If water is beginning to enter your home and you see it rising to near electrical outlets, it's very important that you turn off the electricity in your home. Make sure you also don't step into your home if the electricity hasn't been turned off, but the water level has reached to or above the outlets. You should also call your local power company, and they should be able to provide any assistance or advice on what to do next. Please note that if you do turn off the power to your house, this could also interrupt the sump pump you've installed, which is designed to help with overland flooding. 4. Beware of gas leaks. If you hear or smell any gas in your home, you'll want to turn off your gas right away. You can do this yourself, but before you turn it back on, you'll want to contact a professional. This is important. However, if you don't smell any gas in your house, you'll want to make sure all doors and exterior windows are locked to avoid any overland flood from coming in your home. 5. Buy the proper protective gear. You'll want to make sure you've purchased proper rubber boots, rubber gloves, protective masks, and protective eyewear. If you're in your home and there's a flood, you'll want to make sure you're protected against any of the overland flood waters, as they can usually contain sewage and other harmful chemicals. 6. Remove your personal property and belongings. If you're aware that a flood may affect you, you'll want to take the necessary steps to remove those important valuables and personal property away from your home. That way, if a flood does strike, your personal property and belongings won't be ruined. Especially the sentimental items that may not always be able to be replaced by insurance, such as that beautiful picture of you and your family. You should also consider raising your furniture above ground if you can. This would prevent any damage to your furniture if the floodwaters entered your home. And note, any items touched by floodwaters will need to be properly cleaned, as they could be contaminated with chemicals and sewage. 7. Create an emergency backpack. You should create an emergency backpack that can be located both at your home, and you should have one in your car in the case of the event that you can't make it home before you have to evacuate. The emergency backpack should include things like a flashlight, hand crank radio, non-perishable food, a small amount of cash, first aid supplies, and as well as important identification information. Please keep in mind that this backpack should be able to keep you sustained for 72 hours while you're away from your home. Tip 8. Install preventative measures. If you're anticipating a flood, you'll want to make sure you have a sump pump and backwater valve properly working on your home. If you don't have either of these, you should contact your local municipality. They will sometimes give subsidies for installing a sump pump and/or a backwater valve. You should also double check your pumps and generators to make sure they're working properly if you haven't turned them on in a while. Lastly, you'll want to make sure that these pumps and generators are in easy access in case of an emergency flood and you need to run to them right away. Tip 9. Keep personal information safe. While we all want to keep our physical belongings safe, it's important we keep any sentimental or personal information safe as well, such as our data or important family photos or other things that can't be replaced. If you have these items, you'll want to see if you can back them up to a separate storage device and keep that device in a safe place. Similarly, you could also take advantage of cloud storage devices. That way, your data is fully protected no matter what. Tip 10, the final tip. Buy sandbags. You should stock up on sandbags before a flood ever hits. They are very helpful in helping divert and change the movement of water, potentially reducing the risk and damage to your home. When a flood hits, chances are you won't be able to find any sandbags to buy, as they will be in high demand. And thus, you may receive more damage to your home from floods than you would have if you prepared and bought sandbags in the first place. So there you have it, 10 tips to help you prevent damage to your belongings and your life in an overland flood. If you'd like a home insurance quote, you can head over to squareoneinsurance.com.